We have, this is not the whole play. This physical world we are seeing is a very, very small section of our total play. The play is vaster, much vaster. There are so many universes on the physical plane. We are in a physical universe. Have you seen what's happening in a galaxy today? Another galaxy? Have you seen what's happening in other planets like ours? Do we know the other planets? Well, there is one law in mathematics. It's called the law of probability. It's today accepted as a mathematical law. The law of probability says that certain options which are given to you are probable. If one happens, the other will happen. It also is based upon the law of averages. Both are mathematical laws. Nobody till today, no mathematician has been able to prove how they work. But they work. They say if you toss a coin has heads and tails. If the coin is completely equally balanced, a good coin, you throw it up, it can fall heads or tails. If you throw it up second time, it can fall like that. Supposing you throw it 100 times, it could be all 100 heads or the tails. It's never happened. Why not? Never happened. It could be 40 heads, 60 tails, 55 that, or it could be 20 and 80 at most. Not 100. Supposing you throw it 1,000,000 times, it will be exactly 500,000 heads and 500,000 tails. It has been tested out. Does the coin have a memory of what it's doing? Not at all. Does the coin remember how many times I was heads and how I was tails? No. Then what law is prevailing to even out this division of heads and tails on the tossing of a coin? It's a law prevailing in the whole universe called the law of probability and the law of averages. When you toss a coin and it comes heads, you have increased the probability of it becoming tails next time. If 2 times it's been head, you still further increase the possibility of its falling tails now. That's the law of probability, the mathematical laws. You know who's taking advantage of this law? The casinos. Have you been to these gambling casinos? They are using this law of probability and law of averages and making millions out of us. Because they know that so many times even a throw of anything will ultimately create an average in their favor. And if they keep a little edge in their favor, they win. But these two laws, the law of averages and the law of probability, if you apply it to this universe, if you apply it to the observed galaxies of this universe, the law of probability says the chances of another Earth-like planet with the same conditions, identical conditions on this, from the observed universe of today, there would be at least 28,000 more planets like the Earth. The observed galaxies. And why should we assume that life is only existing on one of these planets when the conditions are identical? Therefore, it's very reasonable to surmise that there is life existing in other parts of this universe, of the physical universe itself. But is it merely a law of probability that we have to depend upon? Or is there any other way of verification? Yes, there is another way of verification. Travel. Go there and check out. Now, we don't have any known means of traveling to these galaxies because of a very big obstacle, and the obstacle is time and space. How can that become an obstacle? I see a star, an actual star, a star is like a sun. Our sun is also a star. The very first nearest star, I want to go and see it and travel, is 1 light year away. You know what light year means? The time it takes light to travel for 1 year. Since I can only see the star from the light that comes from there, when I look at the star, I am seeing the star that was there 1 year ago. There's no way to see any star in the sky which is there today. Incapable, totally incapable. We look at the sky, we are not seeing the sky as it is today. Everything we see there is 1 year old, 2 year old, million years old, billion years old. That's the big problem. You want to travel to another galaxy which you are seeing in the telescope, you are trying to go back 1 billion years. You're not going where this is happening today. No matter how hard, how fast you travel, it's not a question of distance. It's a question of distance plus time. The distance and time are the same thing. You can say 1 light year away, or you can say 1 year away. It's the same thing. 1 year in the past, or 1 light year away, it's the same thing. Now we are watching things which are 1 billion light years away. So when you look at those things, how can you travel there? We don't have any means right now. We're trying to see if we can do something to this time frame. It looks like time is not what we've always believed it to be. Looks like time can be warped, and we can create a wormhole by warping and making a hole in time and travel very fast. Maybe one day we'll do it. Maybe theoretically we can do it even today. Theoretically we know how space can be bent. If space is bent, time gets bent with it, being an ordinate of space. Therefore, if we can bend space, we can bend time. We can bend it to an extent that if we are here 1,000 miles away at this end of the paper and 1,000 years away, it's the same thing. So if we can bend this somehow, if we know the techniques of bending it, we can be a few feet away from 1,000 years away. We could, in one jump, go to 1,000 years earlier. This is a physical possibility by science. And they are examining how to do it. They have theoretically at photon level, at molecular level done it. So therefore, if they can expand it to a human level, we can also just jump from one room to another through a wormhole. And wormhole, which is just a bent space-time continuum, we can reach any time, anywhere we like. Now, if that can be done, then we'll find out where are those other Earth-like planets, and we can go and actually check it out. But till that is done, there's another way of doing it. Although our physical body is limited in its locomotion and transport, we can transport ourselves with the internal body. And if the internal body is really the real source of this body, and we travel with that, we should be able to see other parts of this universe. That we can do. That we have done. People have done that. They have done and gone and seen that there are other planets and other universes with living beings on it with same kind of souls like we have. And those souls who inhabit those people, they are following different laws of nature. The gravity works differently there. Time works differently there. From an experience, one of the experiences of one of these journeys, I can tell you that in one of these universes, time is being used like a watch. Like we use a watch here, but we use a watch only to see time. They use the watch to control time. They can speed up a little. So while you people are sitting here, I could be in tomorrow or day after tomorrow. And they think it's very normal. They use time like we use space. When we are walking on a road with some friends, somebody can walk a little faster. Then he's gone ahead. Others can run up and catch, or he can stop and let others join. We are controlling our speed of movement on space right now. But we don't touch the time with it because the time frame required for this is very little compared to the time frame in a wormhole or in using for interstellar space. But there, people there in a certain universe have their technology, advanced technology, by which they control at what speed they move in time. And it's just like ours moving on space. It's natural for, okay, I'll meet you. I'm going ahead, I'll meet you next week. I'll be there today, but you can join me next week. And we can't think of it here. But there it's normal. So there are so many universes right now on the physical plane of existence. We see such a small slice of what exists here. But supposing you go to the next higher level, you can experiment and go around and see all these things. This is called the side benefit of spiritual journeys. It's not our spiritual journey is to go back to a true home, discover who we are, but this also releases the potential. Releases the potential of how much capacity we have. We have the capacity to examine the whole of creation at every level. Starting from this one, starting from the physical level, you can examine the whole of it through this power of consciousness when you raise it to a different level. So don't think that meditation is merely to get peace of mind. It's a great adventure travel. You can travel beyond all imagination. You can understand the nature of creation. You can understand what a variety of creation it is and travel all over. I'm not giving you an incentive speech to go there. It just happens to be that this is part of the benefits of a spiritual travel through meditation. Meditation, the art of withdrawing your attention within yourself and thereby releasing the higher potential of your inner selves.